For alternative funding for infrastructure, what do you feel are some of the key fundamental challenges that you have and that the industry has moving it forward?
I think probably right now the biggest challenge is the availability of deal flow. There seems to be a certain acceptability of availability of capital, both equity and debt capital, and I think those institutional investors, both on the private equity side and the pensions and the sovereign wealth funds, are looking to invest and support infrastructure development. I think the challenge now is for government commitment, moving things through the planning process expeditiously and moving projects that are approved in concept into the design and construction phase.
Okay, and within that, when you're looking at essentially the implementation of those projects, are there different risks that you would set or identify as needing to be managed when it has the alternative funding for infrastructure?
I think institutional investors are looking for locations where you have political stability, where you have long-term economic growth, and where they believe they can enter into transactions with a creditworthy counterparty on the other side, so they can get long-term take-off agreements for the product or service that they are providing. If those things are in place and the projects are moved through, like I said, the planning and approval cycle expeditiously, then I think there's a huge appetite for infrastructure funds to play, maybe slightly differently, with private equity being more willing to concentrate on development projects and taking construction risks, and potentially more of the pension and sovereign wealth funds looking to support and de-risk the post-construction projects where you've got a longer term annuity and some guaranteed of some stable returns over a longer life cycle.
Okay. You mentioned before some of the pipeline issues on making sure that there's government securing or committing to different projects and everything. Do you feel that recent events, Brexit, US election, you name it, do you feel that will change the dynamic of alternative funding?
Well, they've certainly created a level of uncertainty in the market, and I think that'll last for a period of time. But the good thing about both Brexit and the immediate feedback from President-elect Trump is that there is a huge support for infrastructure development, both as stated last night in the US, and also what we've seen, the decision making since the new Prime Minister stepped into office in the UK, with the approvals for Heathrow and Hinckley, the continual procurement of the HS2 project, and a commitment to additional highway building. So I think in terms of the opportunity for infrastructure, the feedback that's coming out, the encouraging signs that are coming out of government, I think industry will respond to that if government move forward with those commitments.